Okay, without further ado, I'd like to bring up our superintendent, Dr. Kim Moore. Thank you.
Good morning. Oh, we can do better than that. Look at the sun shining. It's a beautiful day. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, when Helen asked me if I would give the closing remarks, I told her I was honored that she would ask me to do that. And the reason why is because the part of the building, the Pentagon, where the plane landed, would have been where my office was. You see, at that point, I was still when I was on active duty. The Pentagon was undergoing renovation. We had moved out of our offices and were in temporary offices. I retired before the offices were finished, but some of my colleagues had begun to move in, which is why the casualty rate was so low, is because that part of the building had just been reopened. As I reflected on what this day means, I remember where I was. I was a brand new teacher, my first year teaching at Gaither High School. And I remember one of my colleagues came to me and said, "Did you know this had happened?" And I said, "What happened?" And then as the day went on, students were coming up and asking questions about, as our resource officer said, are we going to be all right? And the fact that they all knew that I was retired military, everybody wanted to come to me. Why? Because they wanted to be comforted that America was going to be okay. And we were okay. As a nation, we learned a lot of lessons. Today we stand here honoring the lives that were lost. One of our traditions in the military when we have events is we will have a table for our fallen soldiers because we honor our comrades who have made the ultimate sacrifice so that we can have the freedoms that we enjoy. But I want to challenge us today to broaden our perspective. While we lost over 3,000 people on that day, the impact on their families, on their friends, on their colleagues, on our nation goes beyond the sacrifices that they made. 9/11 is not just a day for us to remember, but it's a day for us to reflect and to move forward. I want to share a quote that I read actually this morning because I was praying about what are the words that I want to say and the message I want to convey. And as an educator, I look at everything as a teaching point. Everything is something that we should be learning from and we should be sharing and helping others. So I'm going to read this quote to you because to me, this is the teaching point. It says, "Of all of the pleasures we enjoy," think about that, all of the pleasures we enjoy, our greatest luxury is the freedom to choose. We have a choice about how we behave, and that means we have the choice to offer civility and grace. Dwight Curry said that. Why is that so important? Because today we live in challenging times where grace is not always extended to people. So think about it from the perspective of the sacrifice that people made on 9/11 to run into a building. And I think one of our firefighters said this. They run into the building in spite of who was in the building. Doesn't matter what color, what race, what religion, what gender, none of that is important. When soldiers, airmen, sailors, Marines step on the battlefield, they're fighting for all of us, our nation. So when I look across the group of people that are standing here, I see lots of different people. So I want to ask you today, I want to challenge you today, as we move through this remembrance of 9/11, to remember what it was that they were sacrificing for. It was for us to carry on the legacy of service, the legacy of sacrifice. That is what we're here to celebrate today. What they did for us. And as we move forward, what are we willing to do for each other? Thank you.